Hey there, beautiful souls. Before we dive into today's story, if you're new here, welcome to our little corner of wisdom. And if this is your first time watching, please hit that subscribe button right now. Trust me, you don't want to miss what we're about to share with you today. You know what's fascinating? Right now, as you're watching this, somewhere in the world, a couple is saying, "I do," with stars in their eyes and butterflies in their stomachs. They're making promises they absolutely mean to keep, and they have no idea what's really coming. We were those people once, 60 years ago, to be exact. 60 years. Let that sink in for a moment. That's 21,900 days. That's 525,600 hours. That's more arguments than we can count, more tears than we'd like to remember, and more laughter than we ever imagined possible. My name is Margaret, and this handsome fellow sitting beside me is Harold. We got married on a rainy Saturday in 1965. I wore my mother's wedding dress, and Harold wore his only suit, which was just a tiny bit too short in the sleeves. We honeymooned at a cabin 2 hours away because that's all we could afford. We thought we knew everything about love. We were so wonderfully, beautifully wrong. Today, we're going to share something with you that we've never really talked about publicly before. The mistakes. The big ones. The ones that almost ended us. Because here's the truth that nobody wants to tell you. 60 years doesn't mean 60 years of bliss. It means 60 years of choosing each other, even when choosing each other felt impossible. So grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable, and let me tell you about the 5 mistakes we made that nearly cost us everything. And more importantly, how we learned from them so you don't have to. The first mistake we made was assuming that love was enough. I know. That sounds crazy, doesn't it? Love is supposed to conquer all. Every song, every movie, every greeting card tells us that love is the answer. But here's what they don't tell you. Love is the foundation, not the house. When Harold and I got married, we were head over heels. Ridiculously, stupidly in love. We couldn't keep our hands off each other. We'd stay up all night just talking. Everything he said was fascinating. Everything I did made him smile. We thought that feeling would carry us through anything. Then life happened. Bills piled up. Harold's father got sick. I had a miscarriage. He lost his job. I gained weight and felt ugly. He started drinking a little too much. And suddenly, that feeling of being in love wasn't enough to get us through Tuesday, let alone a lifetime. We had terrible fights during those early years, screaming matches where we said things specifically designed to hurt each other. I once threw a plate at the wall next to Harold's head. He once stayed out all night without calling, just to punish me for something I'd said. We were mean. We were petty, and we kept thinking if we really loved each other, this wouldn't be so hard. But that's the mistake right there. Love is not enough. You need respect. You need communication. You need compromise. You need forgiveness. You need patience. You need the willingness to work on yourself. You need to choose partnership over being right. You need skills, not just feelings. Harold and I eventually learned this the hard way. We learned that on the days when we didn't particularly like each other, we still had to be kind to each other. We learned that love is a verb, not just a noun. It's something you do, not just something you feel. The second mistake we made was keeping score. Oh boy, this one nearly destroyed us completely. For years, maybe even the first 2 decades of our marriage, we kept mental tallies of everything. Everything. I remember thinking, well, I did the dishes 3 nights in a row, so it's his turn. I got up with the baby last night, so he should get up tonight. I sacrificed my career for this family, so he owes me. I was patient with his mother last week, so now he needs to be patient with mine. On and on and on. This endless accounting of who did what and who owed whom. Harold did the same thing. He'd think, I fixed the sink, so she should be more grateful. I work all week, so the weekends should be mine. I didn't complain when she burned dinner, so she shouldn't complain about my mess in the garage. This scorekeeping poisoned everything. Every gesture became a transaction. Every kindness came with an invisible price tag. We weren't partners anymore. We were competitors, each trying to prove we were contributing more, sacrificing more, trying more. The breaking point came during our 23rd year of marriage. We were arguing about something completely stupid. I don't even remember what. And Harold said something like, "After everything I've done for you." And I just exploded. I started listing every single thing I'd done for him over 2 decades. I mean, every single thing. It was ugly. It was petty. And when I was done, there was this awful silence. Then Harold said something that changed everything. He said, "Margaret, do you want to be right or do you want to be married? Because keeping score like this, we're both going to lose." He was right. We realized that in a real partnership, you give without expectation. You contribute because you love the person and the life you're building together, not because you're earning points. Some days you'll give 80% and your partner will give 20. Other days, it'll flip. What matters is that you're both trying, you're both committed, and you're both willing to give without resentment. Once we stopped keeping score, our marriage transformed. We started appreciating each other instead of auditing each other. We started saying thank you for things we used to think were obligatory. And you know what? We both started contributing more because we wanted to, not because we had to. The third mistake we made was thinking we could change each other. This is a big one, folks, really big. Listen closely. When you're dating someone, you notice their quirks and you think they're cute. Harold used to leave his socks everywhere. Everywhere. On the couch, by the bed, in the kitchen somehow. When we were dating, I thought it was endearing. I'd pick them up and think about what a wonderful, hard-working man he was, too tired to even put his socks away. 3 years into marriage, those socks made me want to commit violence. I became obsessed with changing this habit. I nagged. I left notes. I tried positive reinforcement and negative consequences. I gave him a special sock hamper. I refused to do his laundry. I did his laundry but left the socks dirty. I tried everything. And you know what changed? Nothing. The socks kept appearing. But something else changed. Harold started to resent me. He felt like I didn't accept him. He felt like he could never do anything right in my eyes. And I resented him for not caring enough about my feelings to just pick up his damn socks. This pattern extended to bigger things too. I wanted him to be more social. He wanted me to be more laid back. I wanted him to plan romantic surprises. He wanted me to be less emotional. We each had this vision of who the other person should be, and we were determined to make it happen. It wasn't until our late 40s that we finally understood something crucial. You cannot change another person. You can only change yourself. And more importantly, accepting someone doesn't mean giving up on growth. It means loving them as they are while supporting who they're becoming, not forcing them to become who you think they should be. Harold still leaves socks around sometimes. He's 79 years old, and it's just part of who he is. But I've changed how I respond to it. I pick them up without resentment, or I leave them and don't let it ruin my day. And Harold has changed too, not because I forced him to, but because he wanted to make me happy. He tries more now. Not perfectly, but he tries. The fourth mistake we made was letting intimacy die. And I'm not just talking about sex, though that's part of it. I'm talking about all the ways we used to connect that slowly faded away. In the beginning, we touched constantly, holding hands, sitting close, hugging, kissing for no reason. We talked about everything, our dreams, our fears, our stupid thoughts, our weird observations. We looked at each other, really looked, with attention and interest. Then life got busy. Kids came along. Careers demanded attention. We were tired all the time. We started functioning like roommates who happened to share a bed. We'd go days without really talking about anything deeper than groceries and schedules. Weeks without physical affection beyond a quick peck goodbye. Months without really seeing each other. The scary part is how gradual it was. There was no single moment where we decided to stop being intimate. It just eroded, like a beach during high tide. a little bit at a time until one day you look up and realize the beach is gone. We almost lost each other during those years. We were in our 50s, the kids were grown, and we were living in the same house but leading separate lives. I had my routines, Harold had his. We were polite, we were civil, we were strangers. It was terrifying once we acknowledged it. We had to rebuild intimacy from scratch, like learning a language we used to speak fluently but had forgotten. We started with small things, holding hands while watching television, asking each other real questions, and actually listening to the answers. Going to bed at the same time, touching each other's arm while passing in the kitchen. It felt awkward at first, honestly, like we were teenagers again, unsure and self-conscious. But slowly, we found our way back to each other. We learned that intimacy requires intention. It doesn't maintain itself. You have to nurture it, protect it, prioritize it. Now, even at our age, we make time for connection every single day. We have coffee together every morning and talk. We hold hands. We still flirt with each other. We make eye contact. We say, "I love you," and mean it fresh every time. The fifth and final mistake we made was thinking divorce was not an option. Wait, hear me out on this one because it's counterintuitive. For most of our marriage, we had this philosophy that divorce was simply off the table. No matter what happened, divorce was not an option. We thought this commitment would protect our marriage. We thought it meant we were serious about our vows. But here's what actually happened. Because divorce wasn't an option, we got lazy. We got complacent. We stopped trying as hard because we knew the other person wasn't going anywhere. I could be mean to Harold and he'd still be there tomorrow. He could neglect me and I'd still be there next week. We had each other trapped in a way, and we unconsciously stopped treating each other with the care you give to something precious that you might lose. It wasn't until we were in our 60s, during a particularly rough patch, that Harold said something profound. He said, "Margaret, I want you to know that you're always free to leave. I'm choosing to be here, and I hope you choose to be here too. But I want you here because you want to be, not because you're trapped." That shift in perspective changed everything. Suddenly, we both realized we were choosing each other every single day. We weren't stuck together. We were actively, consciously staying together. And that meant we needed to be people worth staying with. We started putting effort back into our marriage. We started dating again. We started saying thank you instead of taking each other for granted. We remembered that we need to earn each other's presence, not assume it. The knowledge that we could lose each other made us cherish each other more. The freedom to leave made us want to stay. And that's been the foundation of our strongest years together. So there you have it. 5 mistakes we made over 60 years of marriage. Assuming love was enough. Keeping score. Trying to change each other. Letting intimacy die. And thinking divorce was not an option. We're not perfect. Even now, after all these years, we still mess up. We still hurt each other sometimes. We still have bad days and difficult conversations. But we've learned. We've grown. We've built something that has weathered storms we never imagined we'd face. If you're in a relationship right now, whether you've been together 6 months or 60 years, learn from our mistakes. Don't wait decades to figure out what we had to learn the hard way. Love each other with intention. Give freely without keeping score. Accept each other fully while growing together. Protect your intimacy like the treasure it is. And choose each other every single day, knowing you're both free to walk away, but deciding to stay. Marriage isn't about finding the perfect person. It's about being imperfect people who refuse to give up on each other. It's about forgiveness and patience and choosing partnership over pride. It's about building a life together, brick by brick, mistake by mistake, lesson by lesson, and it's worth it. Oh, it's so worth it. To have someone who knows all your worst parts and loves you anyway. To have a hand to hold when you're scared and arms to celebrate with when you're joyful. To have a witness to your life, someone who was there for all of it. The beautiful and the ugly and the ordinary. That's what 60 years gets you. That's what staying gets you. Harold and I don't know how many more years we have together. We're grateful for every morning we wake up next to each other. And if we had to do it all over again, mistakes and all, we'd choose each other every single time. Thank you for spending this time with us today. If this resonated with you, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. Leave a comment below and tell us about your own relationship journey. What mistakes have you learned from? What wisdom would you share? And before you go, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We share stories like this one, real-life lessons from real people who've lived long enough to have some perspective. Hit that notification bell so you never miss when we post something new. Remember, love is not just a feeling. It's a choice. It's a practice. It's a commitment to keep showing up even when it's hard. Choose wisely. Choose kindly. Choose love. We'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care of each other out there.